Here's the thing nobody's talking about enough. The Dodgers aren't done. They just won back-to-back championships. They've got the best roster in baseball, and now they're the betting favorites to land MUNETAKA Murakami. The Japanese third baseman who's been absolutely crushing baseballs in NPB. This isn't some depth move. This is potentially adding one of the most feared power hitters on the planet to a lineup that's already terrifying. Betting Line just released their odds, and Los Angeles is sitting at the top. That tells you something. The odds makers aren't throwing darts at a board. They're looking at which team has the money, the motivation, and the track record of landing international stars. And right now, that's the Dodgers. They've got Shohei Ohtani. They've got Yoshinobu Yamamoto. They went to Korea in 2024 and Japan in 2025. The ratings for the World Series in Japan were through the roof. This is the destination for elite Japanese talent. But let's be real about Murakami. The talent is absolutely there. The guy can crush the ball when he connects. We're talking legitimate power that translates at any level. He's been nicknamed the Babe Ruth of Japan, which is not a title you get for hitting singles. This is a guy who can change games with one swing. But there are questions, real questions that teams have to answer before committing major money. The biggest concern is his defense at third base. Multiple scouts have said it's legitimately bad, not just below average, bad. And he's not particularly athletic either, which makes the defensive concerns even more glaring. Max Muncy was a bad third baseman too, but Muncy is shockingly athletic for his build. Murakami doesn't have that same athleticism to fall back on. So where does he play? First base, designated hitter, the outfield where he's played exactly one game. Then there's the swing and miss issue. Murakami misses pitches in the zone at a high rate. That's a red flag when you're projecting how someone will handle major league pitching. NPB is good baseball, but it's not the same level of stuff you face every night in the majors. The velocity is different. The breaking balls are sharper. The command is better. Guys who chase and miss in Japan often struggle even more over here. But here's the counter argument. He's young. He turns 26 in February. If you're going to bet on upside, you bet on guys in their mid-20s who haven't hit their prime yet. And the Dodgers have shown time and time again that they're willing to overlook defensive limitations if you can hit. Look at Teoscar Hernandez. Look at how they've managed their roster. If you're special with the bat, they'll find a spot for you. Stephen A. Smith went off about how terrifying the Dodgers are. He compared this to Kevin Durant joining the Warriors, a foregone conclusion. Nobody can beat them when they show up and actually care. They deferred Ohtani's money, which gave them even more flexibility. They've got assets. They've got depth. They had 5 or 7 rotation guys hurt during their first championship run and still won. Now everyone's healthy, and they're somehow getting better. That's the scary part for the rest of the league. The Dodgers are operating on a different level financially and strategically. They can take risks other teams can't afford. They can sign Murakami, see if it works, and if it doesn't, they pivot. Most teams don't have that luxury. Most teams make one big signing and have to live with it whether it works out or not. The Mariners might be in on Murakami. The Yankees could make a push. But do either of those teams have what the Dodgers offer? Seattle doesn't have the same international appeal or the guaranteed playoff runs. The Yankees have the history and the market, but they don't have Ohtani in the clubhouse recruiting guys. They don't have Yamamoto. They don't have that established Japanese pipeline that makes coming to Los Angeles feel comfortable for players making the jump. If you're Murakami, where do you want to play? Do you want to be the guy carrying a rebuilding team's hopes, or do you want to join a championship roster where the pressure is distributed and you can develop without everything falling on your shoulders? The Dodgers can offer patience. They can offer a path to success that doesn't require him to be perfect on day one. And let's talk about the 50-man roster jokes. People get so worked up about 40-man roster spots and 26-man active rosters. The Dodgers have so much talent that these become real concerns. But that's a good problem to have. That means you're loaded with options. That means when injuries happen, and they always happen, you've got quality depth ready to step in. Byron Buxton got mentioned as another trade target. Now, that's a different conversation. Buxton has MVP-level talent when healthy. The problem is staying healthy. But for the Dodgers, that's actually perfect. They don't need him for 162 games. They need him for 120 regular season games and then October. Rest him strategically. Keep him fresh. Let him be the weapon he can be when it matters most. Buxton makes Teoscar Hernandez a better left fielder. because he covers so much ground in center. He makes Andy Pages a better right fielder because the entire outfield defense improves. Suddenly you go from 0 Gold Glove caliber outfielders to potentially 2. That changes everything about how your pitching staff can attack hitters. The no-trade clause complicates things, but if Buxton is willing to waive it for Los Angeles, that tells you everything about the appeal of playing for this franchise right now. Players want to be part of something special. They want championships. They want to play in front of packed crowds every night. They want the exposure that comes with being a Dodger. Jarren Duran is another name floating around. He had a down year defensively in Boston, but a lot of that was playing the green monster in left field. That wall creates weird angles and bounces that make even good defenders look bad. The year before in center field, he was excellent. He's got tools, he's got speed, he's got arm strength, and he won the Heart and Hustle Award, so the effort is there. But Duran feels like a tier below Buxton. He's interesting, he's valuable, but the floor isn't as high. And if you're the Dodgers going for a third straight championship, you want sure things. You want players who raise your championship odds significantly, not just depth pieces who make you a little better. Tyler Glasnow got mentioned as potential trade bait. That's a non-starter. You don't trade top-tier young talent for upgrades when you're already the best team in baseball. You protect those assets for when you actually need them. Glasnow has more value staying in the organization than he does in any trade package for someone like Duran. The Dodgers lead the league in injured list moves. That's been true for years, but they've also learned how to manage it. They slow roll guys back from injuries. They give them extra rest. They prioritize October readiness over regular season stats. That's why someone like Buxton makes sense. His injury history becomes less concerning when you're planning to rest him anyway. Murakami is the wild card in all of this. If he signs with the Dodgers and hits 40 home runs, everyone will be kicking themselves for not being more aggressive. If he struggles with the adjustment and can't find a defensive home, it becomes an expensive experiment that didn't work out. But the Dodgers have the financial cushion to take that risk. They have the organizational infrastructure to help him adjust. They have the winning culture that makes individual struggles easier to overcome. The rest of baseball should be terrified. The Dodgers just went back-to-back. They're not slowing down, and they're still hunting for ways to get better. Adding Murakami would be another statement, another signal that they're not satisfied with 2 championships. They want to build something that lasts. They want a dynasty. And right now, there's nobody positioned better to make that happen.